Hi, thank you for tuning in to Amy's Crafts and Things. I'm Amy. Today we're going to talk about designing journal covers in PE Design 11. The first thing we need to do is we need to grab our measurements of the journal that we're going to be making a cover for and grabbing the hoop that it accommodates. My hoop that I'm choosing today is a 300mm by 200mm hoop, and my design for my journal cover is 11 inches by 7 inches tall. So we will be talking in millimeters. So to convert that for you, my journal will be a height of 177.8 millimeters and a width of 279.4 millimeters. So the first thing that we need to do is we need to go to our shapes and grab a rectangle. Make sure it's a running stitch with no fill, and it's just going to be a tack down so we can turn our run time to 1. Let's go ahead and draw out a rectangle, because we can go home and we can resize it to our specific size that we need. Uncheck maintain aspect ratio because we are needing a specific size. Again, my width was 279.4 millimeters. And our height was 177.8 millimeters. And click OK. I'm going to change my color to black. I just prefer to have all my outlines be black. Then I'm going to go home and I'm going to arrange it and move it to the center. And that is our fabric placement. When we do fabric placement lines, we always cut our fabric bigger than the placement line so that it sews out properly. The next thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to create a fabric tack down. To do that, I will go ahead in my sewing order, right click to select the object, copy, paste, and turn it to a different color to allow my machine time to stop so that I can put that fabric down securely. Multi-needle machines, be sure that you program your stops in before you sew out your projects. And you're going to change the color. And it's a fabric tack down. I'm going to change the run time to 2 on that. The next thing that I would like to do is I would like to create top stitching for my spine. It is totally optional. You do not have to do that. I just prefer how it looks to have the spine with the top stitching. I feel like it gives it a more polished look. In order to do that, you will need to measure your spine to get the width and divide that by 2 so you can have half of it on the left side of center of your hoop and the other half on the right side of center of your hoop. I'm going to create guidelines up in my measuring bar to ensure I place those top stitching lines in the center. Let's see, 1, 2. So that I have half of it on the left and the other half on the right. Then I will create my top stitching lines by going home, grabbing that shape tool, selecting the open straight line, clicking at the top of my fabric placement line and just above the blue guideline that I created, hold my shift key down and draw a straight line all the way down to the bottom. Create my line. I'm going to give that a different color, obviously because it's going to be my top stitching, and I like to have it be a different color for contrast. I'm going to go ahead and choose that top stitching line now. You can be anything that you would like, anything from the zigzag to the triple stitch. You can grab a motif stitch. Today I'm going to choose a chain stitch. If you look in your sewing attributes, you have 2 different types of chain stitching. You have the triangle or you have the diamond. I prefer the diamond. I'm going to change my size a little bit to 6.5 millimeters. And I'm going to call that good. I guess it would help if I actually selected the line. So we'll try that again. Go to our chain stitch. I want to change it to 6.5 millimeters. I'm going to give it a different color. And then I'm going to go home. I'm going to copy and paste it, and I'm going to drag that over to the other blue line. And there's your spine top stitching. This is where you get to be creative as much as you would like. If you would like to put a word down the center of your spine, go ahead up to your text tool. Since it's smaller, you can either try to use the smaller text or you can try a larger one. You got to see what works best for you. I'm just going to type in. I'm going to uncheck my transform. I just want it to be straight across. Sewing ideas. Enter. Go ahead to home, rotate to the right, and then you can drag and place it wherever you would like. I like to try to keep it towards the center. Looks like I did a fairly good job there. I'll just use my arrow keys to nudge it over. I'll change the color just to give it a little extra contrast. If you would like to add a design to the front of your cover, you will do so by placing it on the right side of your screen, centered from your spine, top stitching to the edge of your fabric on the right. The design that I am choosing today, I will grab from import from the design library. I'm going to grab it from a folder off of my desktop. The design I'm using today I received from Brother Sews. Every month they give out a free design at the beginning of each month, and they assign it to a project in their blogs. I will put that link in the description down below. Angela Wolf and Joanne Bangkok did an excellent tutorial on using this design to create a notebook cover for a 3-ring binder, which is some of what inspired me to create this In the Hoop project. So I will just kind of center it where I like it. And there's your design. You can put any design there that you would like. If you would like to add a ribbon bookmark, you can do so by going up to Shapes, grabbing your open straight line tool, and you will create a placement line just above the spine. Drag it across. It's just a placement line, so you only need a run time of 1 on that, and make sure you change it to a running stitch. Here's the running stitch, and here's my run time of 1. You can put that wherever you would like. I like to try to sew mine out towards the middle of the spine. You can have 1 ribbon, you can have up to 3 different ribbons if you'd like. It's your project, design it how you like it. Another thing that you could do is you could use elastic on the front cover by creating a placement line and stitch lines above the corner of your front of your journal. You would want to make one at the top and you'd want to make one at the bottom. I'm not going to do that today, but I am going to go back to my ribbon line and make sure I copy and paste that so that I have a sew down line as well, just to temporarily secure it in place before we put our back piece on. I'm going to give it a different color. If you would like to put a design on the back, or maybe I like to put a little design at the bottom of my journals. Sometimes I put designs there, sometimes I put words. Today, for the sake of this tutorial, I'm just going to grab some text. I'm going to grab a different font. Something maybe a little more fancy. Click enter. I'm going to change it to a different color. Let's see, teal. We'll just kind of center it on the back part of your cover between your spine and the edge of your fabric. The next thing that you will need to do is you will need to create placement lines for your inner flaps. To do that, we will go home, we will grab our shape tool, we will grab our open straight line. It's just a running stitch. I always have my placement lines black generally. It's just a good reminder. I always know those are my placement lines. So on the outside of your fabric, we'll just grab and draw a straight line all the way down. This will be our placement guide for the raw edge of our inner flap. Oops. That did not work out so well. We'll try it one more time. Shift. Make our line. Select it. Make sure it's tall enough. And then we will go home with it selected. Copy, paste. We will select just one of them. And then we will click on it and drag it all the way over to the other side for the other flap. Excellent. The next thing that we will do is we will create our fabric tack down to tack those pockets in place. To do that, we will go up to the top to our fabric tack down for tacking down our front of our cover. We'll click on it, select the object, we'll go home, we will copy and we will paste it and assign it a different color. And because you're sewing pockets down, we're going to have it be a run stitch. We'll go over to sewing attributes and we're going to beef up the sewing. Since embroidery thread is generally weaker than sewing thread, I want to make sure we have a good secure hold on our fabric. We're going to make it run 3 times around. Click OK. And then the final step that we need to do is we need to secure the back piece of our fabric onto our project. We'll do that by placing it face down on top of what's already in the hoop and make sure that it is centered. So, and then to do that, to create that sewing line, we will go back to the sewing line that we just created to secure the pockets. We will make sure we have those selected, go home, copy and paste it. However, the one thing that we really need to do next is we need to create an opening and we need to change the color of that line that we just created. So let's go ahead and change that color to something else. It doesn't matter what, we just have to allow time to stop our machine to get that back piece of fabric on. Okay. And then we need to create the opening at the bottom of our journal cover to allow us the ability to turn our project right side out. We need to know how big our pockets are. Generally, it's about halfway from the left outermost part of our journal cover to the center of our spine. I like to go halfway, so I'll just go in a little bit and just kind of eyeball it. We need to go home and select our point tool and create a spot that will not interfere with our pocket, and just kind of try to keep it even on both ends, on both sides. So there's one. We'll split at point. I'll create another one. And I'll go under shapes and split at point. I'll go down to sewing order, expand the last box and click on the plus. Grab that straight line that we just separated off from our sewing line for our back piece. Right click on that, select the object and delete it. Now we can run through our sewing simulator to make sure we have everything. We have our fabric placement line for our front piece. We have our fabric tack down for the front piece. And it will run a couple times through. Then we have our spine top stitching. Again, that is totally optional, and you can put whatever you want there if you prefer to have that there. There's the other side of our spine top stitching. And then you can put a title down the spine if you prefer. And then our front design, our back design. We have our ribbon tack down and sew down. We have our pocket tack down. We have the pocket sew down and the back sew down. And there you have it. We have your journal cover created fully in the hoop. Go ahead and save that, and you can use it as a template for future projects. Again, my name is Amy with Amy's Crafts and Things. Please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to my channel to be notified when new tutorials will be uploaded. I will put the links to the free design that Brother gives out every month in the description below. Feel free to post the projects that you have created as a result of this tutorial. I would love to see them. Don't forget to tag Amy's Crafts and Things. Thank you for watching, and may your bobbin always be full.